Hey folks, this is Walker, one of the two hosts of Idio Talk. Just wanted to jump on here in the beginning and let you know that my mic cuts in and out when I am introducing myself in this episode. And I didn't want you to hear that and think, oh my God, is this Joker's mic going to do that through the whole episode? It doesn't. So, just letting you know, and also letting you know because it happens when I am telling you my name. So this is Walker, one of the two hosts of Idio Talk. And the other guy is Zach. His mic is working perfectly. In fact, I think maybe he sabotaged me. Anyway, it clears up right there after the beginning. Don't worry about it. You're in good hands. Enjoy the episode, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Idio Talk.
Hello.
Welcome to Idio Talk, a Radiohead podcast. Back to it if you're listening in order for the first time. If you're some sort of psychopath who wants to jump in on a non-album episode on part 2 of our OK Computer coverage, our exhaustive. We should probably introduce ourselves. My name is Walker Glenn. I am one of your hosts.
And I'm Zach Glenn.
And we are very, very excited to be back talking about Radiohead again. Just to cover our credentials again, we love Radiohead. Would you say that's fair, Zach?
Yeah. We've taken a little break too, and I think it's been good, although the listeners won't know. But I think it's been good just to get that extra 100th listen of each album in the, a month or so that it's been.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes you got to take a break from talking to Radiohead to go. We were like, you know what? We need to go listen to Radiohead for a while, then come back together and talk about it.
Have you done that, or have you taken a little break?
Well, I want to be, this is famously, there's a lot of talk between the two of us about what is for on the pod and what is off the pod. I will mention something that I think that we won't get into now, but definitely will on a future episode. I would say I have been listening to Radiohead. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think as covered, there really isn't a period of my life where I go a long time without listening to Radiohead a little bit. A couple albums in particular that are always in some sort of semi-regular rotation for me. But I would say that lately my Radiohead consumption has been more defined by at the time of this recording, somewhat new release of the Smiles debut album. We covered their first couple singles in a previous episode. But I think that by the time folks are listening to this, the album will have been out for quite a while, and we'll probably talk about it a little more extensively when we talk about side projects of the different band members. But I am comfortable saying I'm really enjoying that album, and I've been listening to that a lot. So not Radiohead, but, Tom and Johnny, and then, as we know, then some imposter also named Tom.
Yeah, that's right.
Made a really good record, in my opinion. What about you? Have you been listening to Radiohead?
No, I've been well, yes, but kind of like you were saying, there's not really a clear period where they fell out of favor and they weren't on rotation. I have been really delighted to have something that was released in calendar year 2022 that I was excited to listen to, like a young lad from early 2000s who would buy compact discs and listen to it front to start to finish. Radiohead are really one of the only bands that have released albums in this kind of era that I've run to my computer gone to immediately listen, and that's no different with The Smile. And I got similar feelings to when I was able to listen to Kid A, Amnesiac, OK Computer, even though they had long since been released, but because In Rainbows was sort of my gateway. And I just, the feeling of delight and surprise at what I was hearing, I didn't really get those so much with the albums that came out subsequent to In Rainbows. So I would say this has been it's almost like... It's almost like when you fall in love or something like that, and you're still in love, but then you get those feelings again. I don't know.
The smile is like
It's almost like that though.
Right. Yeah, it's a little better, but like than falling in love. I think sticking with your metaphor, the smile is like, okay, we've been in this relationship for a while.
Are you gonna put your finger in my butt now?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like trying a new sex position. Like it's like
or a new person, a new Tom.
Sure, yeah. Oh my God, is the smile Radiohead opening the relationship?
But it's so hard to carry that metaphor through because they're downsizing from a 5-piece to a 3-piece.
Right.
So maybe, I don't know.
Did we talk about, I'm getting like deja vu, like we maybe made this exact metaphor.
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, I don't know, but I don't think so.
Right. But we don't know what Ed and Colin and Phil, like who they might be, banging musically in the meantime.
True. I mean, I would. I think Colin would be like a welcome addition to like a side band. But as far as I know, I don't think. I think Ed has put out a solo album. I have not listened to it
And never will. I mean, honestly, what are the chances of you ever sitting down to listen to a solo album by the handsome man?
Not much. I just don't feel like it would be very like sonically or just musically like interesting.
Well, it's probably just one note.
Right.
It's a one note drone.
Yeah. I don't actually know if his left hand can form chords. I have seen him strum, and I've seen him dry strum with like rhythmic intuition.
Yes.
Particularly there's a live version of I Might Be Wrong where Ed is carrying the beat, but he's not forming chords.
You know what? Wait, could we? I wanted to talk about this because we've talked about it in real life, but would you fill the listener in on the just a little more down to basics about what you're talking about? 'Cause we had a really long off-pod laugh about this particular rendition of
Okay. So
yeah.
I Might Be Wrong is a song on an album that we've not covered yet, their Amnesiac album, and it's one of the Radiohead songs that they really beef up live. So listeners, you're welcome to skip ahead. I Might Be Wrong. It's off their Amnesiac album, and then immediately go to YouTube, and there's some really, really famous versions, and there's also an I Might Be Wrong live album.
And it seems like it's like ever since the song came out, it's been a live staple.
It's a staple, yeah. And whereas like Paranoid Android, which we have covered, is an incredible achievement because they're able to replicate it for the most part live, but it's not so different. So 3 guitar players in the band Radiohead. I Might Be Wrong is a pretty straight ahead, repetitive one guitar riff, and Tom plays the tambourine. Tom York, the singer, frontman, guitar player. So he's without a guitar. So you'd think, well, there's got to be something for Ed O'Brien to do. Nope, he's just he's banging his head, with a sense of cool, but kind of looking around ponderously at the rest of his bandmates, like these guys can really play.
Yeah, wow. I wish I was in this band.
So
he's like a roadie, or a guitar tech, watching from the wings of the stage.
The glorified guitar tech. So there's a 2001 version that I think might be the actual version that is on the I Might Be Wrong live album, where they're playing it in France.
Paris. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, it's incredible. And
it's my favorite version of the song because
it's my favorite version. Period.
Quite sped up and really rocking.
It's so good. So on that version, Ed, that is important to the song.
Yeah.
So he is doing something there, and it's hard to keep a dry rhythm with like a dry strum with an electric guitar because you're plugged in, so you can sound like garbage just doing that. So he's doing something there. Fast forward to 2012 though, on their tours, and he's wearing a fedora, which is already a tough sell.
Yeah,
and that's where he's.
Fortunately, he's the handsome man.
He is the handsome man for sure.
So he's pulling it off as well as anyone can.
Yeah. I mean, I say leave the fedoras for like Ed Norton or some other actor douchebag. He's not even helping rhythmically anymore. Meanwhile, you pan over to Colin, and that is a really tough bass line in that song. Listeners, I might be wrong. Check it out. And he is biting his lip, jumping up and down, focused. So it's just kind of like a yin yang there of working real hard and not.
Yeah. Well, what amazed me about it is that because I was familiar with the way they played it in their tours in the early 2000s. And
so good.
Like I said, with Tom, I didn't realize you are kind of clarifying for me what Ed is doing. I didn't know he was doing like a percussive thing on his guitar in that song.
In verse 2.
That makes sense. But I was like, when Tom is playing the tambourine, I didn't ever think Ed wasn't busy in that song. I didn't know that he wasn't playing notes, but whatever. He's adding to the sonic atmosphere of the song. But yeah, this 2012 tour you're talking about, Tom is playing guitar.
Yes, yeah.
And Johnny's playing guitar.
2 drummers.
And they have a second drummer.
Who looks like Phil.
Yeah.
At first I was like, did Phil like lose weight and grow like, a half a foot?
Yeah, I didn't know they had a. I mean, that's cool.
Really cool. It's a jazz drummer too. So
Yeah.
Anyways, please.
Which I'm sure felt great for Phil. This is like,
who's a very good drummer.
Really good drummer.
Yeah, but
I'm sure. Maybe you know what? Honestly, I always say this stuff about the other members. It's like they're probably like, "Fuck you, we're perfectly secure."
except for Ed.
But like, yeah, Phil might be like, I was the one who suggested bringing in another drummer.
Yeah.
Because I had things that I thought would be cool to add rhythmically that one person can't do. Anyway, the second drummer, and then when we talked about it, Zach said it to me with no comment. He just sent me this video of them playing this. And at the end, I watched it and I was like, it cut to Ed multiple times. I did not see him play one note on his guitar.
Not even one.
Not one. And Zach immediately said, that's why I sent it to you. So
Yeah. Not for the brilliant outro singing that Tom York does. I mean, this was 10 years ago now, but your pipes can get rusty as you get older. It's just a natural thing that happens to the human body. But I mean, and this goes back to, I think, a little bit of the smile. I think that vocally, there's
his voice is in great
his
shape.
voice is in great shape, and I think that it really kind of shows that there's a way to preserve your longevity as a singer. And I think Tom York has, maybe not consciously did that, but somebody like Paul McCartney, who's 80 years old, but maybe I'm Amazed and Oh Darlin', those kind of songs in that sort of register will thrash your voice, along with smoking cigarettes for however many years he did it. And I think that what's so cool about The Smile is you can really hear the maturation and progression that these guys have made as musicians. I think Tom's bass playing is really good.
Yeah.
Johnny Greenwood, like, what can you really say? And I think this new drummer maybe has a little bit more of like a rock punk flair. I don't quite know how I would define his uniqueness, but he's a very, very good drummer.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stop short of saying in love with it, but it's the most excited I've been about new music. And then subsequently, like, had that excitement fulfilled.
Yeah, same. I mean, well, like I said, we'll talk about the album more specifically when we talk. We'll have an episode where we cover, like, I'd like to cover some of the Tom York solo stuff and
Atoms for Peace. I think it's okay if we give it a no thank you, but I would like to at least.
I'd like to delve in more because what I've heard has not pulled me in super hard, but I would also like to give it a more fair shake than I have up to this point, because the fact that there is kind of Radiohead and Radiohead adjacent content that I haven't really still spent time with it's pretty exciting, because when I lock in with something, but I will say there's probably some recency bias, but The Smile right now this album is my favorite thing that Tom York and company, I will say, have put out in 6 or 7 years. I guess maybe. Well, I guess maybe more. I really like. We'll talk about it in the Moonshaped Pool. I really, really love some of a Moonshaped Pool, and I like that album a lot. Right now, this is pulling ahead of that a little bit for me, and it's pulling ahead of certainly the other what I know of Atoms for Peace and the last Tom York solo album, which I liked a lot when it first came out, but
The Suspiria or Anima.
There's that, Anima, which
that one was a little bit of a tougher sit for me. I really do like.
I haven't listened to it a lot since it came out, but I'm listening to this album quite a lot, and so
well, we can move ahead of it. But yeah, listeners, whenever it is you listen to this, check out The Smile. What is the name of that album? I can't remember now.
A Light for Attracting Attention.
Yeah, really, really dig the album title that I couldn't remember.
I like that too.
And it's a great album. And I don't know if it's recency bias or not, but it's certainly the most pulled I've felt to listen to a side project of any of theirs. Maybe ever,
Yeah, and also, we keep saying side project. I mean, when you have an offshoot from a band as established as Radiohead, and there's more than one member from the band, it's hard not to think of it as a Radiohead side project.
Right.
But I kind of think they are planting their flag. It remains to be seen what the future is of Radiohead, and we've speculated quite a bit on this podcast about if they are going to have another active period or not. But I do think The Smile with this album and with the upcoming tour and just the amount of promo that they've been putting into this project, I think they're kind of planting their flag of like, this isn't a side project. This is the music that we are excited about making right now.
And the reviews and the attention from the Hollywood community, from other musicians, Julian Casablancas. I'm not on Twitter, but I did read a Yahoo News article about what he tweeted about their show. He said it was the greatest live show he's ever been to, which the Strokes are a phenomenally talented live band. So I think that's high praise, from up here. So yeah, really, really dig The Smile. Where we left off last, we were talking about OK Computer. I know we recorded in between then. But you watched the 1998 documentary Meeting People is Easy, right?
Yeah, I sure did. And I'll pull out slightly from that and just say, I think I already said, so we kind of, before we get into the Kid A period, it's such an in-depth period of Radiohead, and it's such a juxtaposition to, as much as OK Computer is such a change from the Bends, Kid A is a real heavy change from the music they're making that we've been discussing now. So we just wanted to stay in this period for another episode and discuss what I recently watched for the first time, and Zach has seen a few times, the tour documentary about some of their touring and promo of OK Computer, Meeting People is Easy, and also discuss some of these B-sides and maybe even kind of get into the atmosphere within the band that leads into Kid A. But
you kind of can't help but do that because they're very one leads to the other.
Yeah, exactly. And so we just wanted to spend a little time on the bridge from OK Computer to Kid A. And yeah, with that, as you just deftly got us into, let's talk a little bit about Meeting People is Easy.
For sure. Well, credit where credit is due. It was directed by a gentleman named Grant G. I have not looked up his credits to see what else he's made, but I think it was really well executed. It sort of has this very Radiohead atmospheric feel in that it's this is I think the only Radiohead documentary that is available to purchase or watch. You can watch it for free on their website at Radiohead Public Library, which I think is really cool. But it's not going to say, hi, I'm Tom. Hi, it's nothing like that.
Yeah, there's no talking head interviews. It's all fly on the wall footage.
Yeah, and what's really cool about the interview footage is that it is, I think it tends to focus a lot on Tom York, Ed, Colin, and Phil. But they will pair off. I'm sorry, when they would do interviews. So Ed and Phil or Colin and Ed seem to interview together. And, there's sort of this third perspective in the form of the camera because they're giving interviews to, a magazine or newspaper or whatever. And you could just see complete exhaustion from them. And, they had done 114 shows in total for touring OK Computer. Tom was experiencing writer's block. That's going way far ahead, but I think that one thing is kind of easy to forget is that bands are often writing new material when they're on tour. It's kind of how you stay loose. It's just an unromantic look at like the touring of Radiohead. You know, the touring or the footage was taken in Asia, Europe, and North America. And it's just a good snapshot into the mood and the lore of this period. Totally. Sort of my recap on it.
Very well said. I think that's an excellent description of what it is. And I think it was, for me, watching it for the first time, we talked a lot in, I believe, our first episode. We talked a lot about kind of the perception of Radiohead, and occasionally maybe this perception of them as self-serious or pretentious. And I always have bristled at that because I think that they actually are having, I always saw them as having a very kind of human reaction to the level of adulation that they've received, which is that they seem uncomfortable with it. And this movie really, really confirmed that for me, because we talked a lot about how with the Bends from basically being like, okay, they're the band who plays Creep, and they very much have the potential to be one of these one-hit wonders from the 90s that have this one really iconic song and you don't hear much from again. And then the Bends is apparently, my phrase of this episode is planting their flag, really plants the flag of like, we have something to say.
Yeah.
And we want to be taken
seriously.
seriously.
It was kind of their Odelay, or, if you
Absolutely.
will. Yeah. By Beck.
And they describe a lot during that period their exhaustion with being the Creep band and not having a lot of autonomy from their record label because they're young and they, are signed to a contract and it is compulsory for them to do a certain amount of press and touring and everything like that. OK Computer comes along. All of a sudden they are taken as seriously as it seems like they wanted to be. And then it's like, that is also really exhausting and alienating because what this movie seemed to be was a series of clips of them being uncomfortable, being told all this stuff about themselves, about how, and being told there was like a smash cut scene in one where it shows them being asked the same question over and over and over again, about like the themes of the album, and they seem to be kind of going crazy. Like they seem to be kind of losing their minds a little bit. And even though they are this big screaming deal and these critical darlings now, they still have to do the unromantic or unsexy work of doing things like recording bumpers for various MTV local affiliates and radio affiliates and all this shit. It was really interesting to see Radiohead still having to do that stuff.
Yes,
because
I agree. I totally agree.
Right? Because it's not that later in their career that not only do they reach a point of success that they don't really have to do anything that they don't want to do, but that model of the music industry falls apart.
Yeah, and
like,
they don't thrive in that. Like it's kind of like why you love them and why they just physically. It doesn't have to do with their looks, but they just physically look uncomfortable. There are some great bands. U2 would be an example of somebody who really thrives in like the press junket. At least Bono. Whereas I think like they just look, like you said, uncomfortable, and they don't look like they're above this necessarily. Even if they were to come off that way, I would forgive them that. But it was never the right fit for them being an MTV band. Yeah, even though their music videos are great, they rarely are featured in their music videos.
Yeah, totally. And it's they don't. U2 is a good example. I mean, there are just people who not only are they great at being musical performers, they're just like great at doing their own PR, and Radiohead is not
Steven
that.
Tyler, like pick any band that you might not love, but there's a sense of like identifying, just being very charismatic physically, and not. I don't know. I don't want to sell Radiohead short in that regard, but
no, but they're awkward.
Yeah, they are. Thank you.
Like, I mean, like there's this, and Tom is especially awkward, which is interesting because I think he's a very effective frontman and very like commanding in that setting of being on stage playing his music. It's not like he like stands there with his like looking at his feet. He's got charisma on stage, but like. There's a scene where they're in Japan and they're recording like an acceptance speech for some like album of the year award. And he keeps flubbing the take and he just that part like he like hangs his head and is just like, I can't. He's like going, like he like seems so defeated and so embarrassed, and he asks Colin to read it.
Yeah,
and he just is going, I
touching.
can't fucking do it.
Yeah,
like I can't get it, and it's not like I can't emotionally do this. It's like I literally keep fucking up the thing I'm trying to read.
Yeah,
and I feel embarrassed. Is how I read it.
Well, I thought that part was touching. That he, just to see that camaraderie and interaction. Anytime you see, someone ask for help, it's very touching, and I think that moment is sadly touching. There's another moment that really made me sad, where Colin, I believe, is speaking on behalf of his younger brother Johnny, where he said he's explaining why Johnny won't give interviews anymore, and he's explaining it to, I think, like when they're in France or something like that, and he says, well, Johnny won't give interviews anymore because people just think that he is dumb because he's so quiet and shy.
Yeah.
And it's just the affectation in which he says it is very sad, because Johnny Greenwood is absolutely not a dumb person. And I think that is widely known now. But, being able to articulate yourself in an interview, which it still seems to be very challenging for him. And he's not a look at me type guy.
He's very shy.
Yeah.
I mean, you hardly hear him utter a word.
And that's the beautiful thing about music, is that it is a means of expression that doesn't necessarily correlate to being, good looking, or being, loud with your voice, or being everyone look at me, because he absolutely is like, so unique and loud on stage, right? But with his instrument. I mean, he doesn't even ever sing backing vocals. He doesn't have a microphone.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting sort of like dichotomy there. So that part kind of bummed me out, but spoiler, he ended up being all right.
Yeah.
But and then there's also a scene, I had to rewind it a few times when I initially watched it. I don't know if you caught this, but they weren't the Creep band anymore. They were critically lauded. They try and go to a after party. I think this might be in New York City. Yes. Even it's clearly in North America.
Yes,
and maybe it's Toronto. But
they are so heartbreaking.
The door guy won't let them in. And,
it's Tom by himself.
It's Tom by himself. Okay, I thought maybe he has one or two people with him. Well, obviously the camera guy.
I was told there's a party,
and he does give him a little bit like of a fuck you. It's for me, basically. But not much. I think he's just kind of like, God damn it. He walks away. Because, and so that.
And as he walks away, this was the moment of the documentary. Some guy on the street sees him and goes,
Yep.
Radiohead.
Yep.
Creep. Dickhead.
Yes.
He says Radiohead, creep, dickhead.
Could not have planned or scripted it better.
Yeah.
I mean, it so that part, I think, really just kind of goes to show that maybe a song like Creep was written from the heart,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was a little bit like, oh, this works for us, but there is an earnestness in it, and we've all heard that song a million times. It's hard sometimes to like step back and really like remember that it was written by a person, and that person, you see who's achieved immense success and potentially longevity at this point, 4 or 5 years later, still isn't widely embraced, in a club, bar, whatever setting in a big city like New York or Toronto where they're denying him entry.
Yeah. You know what, dude?
Get out of here, nerd. Kick rocks.
Yeah, totally.
What it looks like.
Yeah, you're not a rock star. You're a little weird guy.
Right.
Yeah, I think that like you actually crystallized by bringing up that scene, the theme of this documentary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think this word has come up over and over again in discussing this band's music, is the theme of alienation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the theme of this documentary, and I think we will see. I think this really connects to Kid A because I think that, to use an overused term, it seems like now that Radiohead has like arrived as they have at this OK Computer period, it's like now there's like imposter syndrome to deal with.
Yeah.
It's like, the dog who caught the car, like, I got what I want, but I'm actually a fraud. And actually, this is jumping way ahead.
Okay.
I want to discuss a few songs that we hear in this documentary that I had no idea were kicking around at this time.
Yeah.
But an early version of Nude.
Yeah. Originally titled at that point, Big Ideas Don't Get Any.
Yeah. And they're playing it, and I had no idea this song went back that far. This is a song that's on In Rainbows. And you see Tom introduce them playing it, and he says, quote, "This is a song about believing you're wonderful when you know it's not true." And I love that. I love that he says believing you're wonderful when you know you're not true. So it sounds like I don't know if he just misspoke but he says believing you're wonderful and you know it's not true. So that to me sounds like somebody who's like has an ego, is at war with it, is proud of what they're doing, does think they're good, but also is like, I'm a fraud and I'm going to get fined out and all this is going to go away.
Yeah.
And that to me, when you look at the mood of Kid A and Amnesiac, it's like, okay, those are being written from a point of view where somebody's success has just made them feel all the more alien from the world, or people telling them that they're wonderful has made them feel even more a part of,
for sure,
than they did.
I do think, though, and
apart from, rather,
I think in this we're gonna have to just be willing to jump ahead a little bit just in reference. We've already done it a few times to the future albums, but you were saying that Tom York is a very energetic and appealing, or energetic frontman who can hold that position down. I don't really think that he embraced that, though, until the subsequent albums from OK Computer. The concert footage that is shown in this film documentary goes to show, I think, how challenged they were musically. I mean, they were still in their late 20s, so just like 4 or 5 years of playing this level of material that was advancing with each album. He doesn't look very loose. And for me, as someone who can kind of play, like, I'm like 100%, I would have lockjaw and be really focused. I don't think
you're right. He also doesn't, because Tom York, he's famous for the way he dances,
which started
now,
on
too.
the Kid A tour.
Yeah, and he doesn't do that at all.
No. And I mean, Kid A sort of afforded him that opportunity with songs like Idiotech.
Right.
We were talking about I Might Be Wrong earlier, where he plays
more
the tambourine.
beat-centric.
Yeah, and so, that was, I think those, Tom York was probably 28, 29 around OK Computer. And, it's different for every person, but I think there is something that happens, especially when you're at that level and you're comfortable or not, but that you're going to be in the public eye and you want to bring something new to it. It's going to take a long time if you're a shy person. And I really think that did sort of come out of the Kid A touring and the Amnesiac touring. And by the time they get to the album following Amnesiac, Hail to the Thief, we're into the early aughts, and they're not a different band. Musically they had grown a lot, but like the comfortability, that's really when, in Kid A is really when like the political themes start to really come through in the writing, I think, and maybe a little bit more of a discernible way than they had on OK Computer. But that is getting ahead. But that sort of occurred to me when you were saying that, and it's like, I don't think that he really looked comfortable in that role, and it wasn't that he was bad at it.
Totally. Yeah, no, that's really astute. That's really astute. I guess I am kind of thinking of because he's not bad at it at this period, but he is kind of maybe more like the guitar is more armor, whereas at this later in their career and now in their career, he'll take it on and off. He dances around. He
smiles on stage.
He smiles. He'll crack a joke I gotta say, he seems really unhappy in this documentary to me. Like, he seems like a really... There was another moment, too.
He's getting sarcastic, too, like with his answers. And
he gets snippy, for sure. Like, so, okay, that is the thing, is I wanted to say I'm giving a lot of, like... I'm doing a lot of defending of it. It's he definitely has an attitude,
Yes.
and it's an attitude. It's just
As one would.
as one would. It's just that it's like I think that it's I've said this before, and I don't like. I think that because Radiohead's music is serious, people respond to the attitude that he cops differently than if it's like something that's maybe more like sounds more like punk or something. Because there's a scene later in this documentary where he's just talking about the commodification of music and being somebody who is now making shitloads of money making music. And you can tell he's like, as he's talking, he's like, he's describing his political point of view of like that he finds this whole system really disgusting. He also cops to, then they start paying you a bunch of money, and now I'm afforded this lifestyle that I'm disgusted by and scared is going to go away. I don't remember. I didn't write down the quote, but
I know what part you're talking about.
He's describing like basically like his like moral conflict with what he's doing, and everything he's saying. I'm like,
I dug that though. Like,
I
how many
did
people
too.
have the gall to even admit that moral quandary and the two sides of him you are fighting like that is really. But I could see how it could come off as a
But I think it comes off differently because maybe also because he's British and we ascribe a certain level of pomp to that voice. But I'm like, to me, he sounds exactly like Kurt Cobain. And thank God, whatever struggles he had with his own moral compass and what he was doing for a living, and that he wasn't obviously I don't think Kurt Cobain killed himself because of being famous. He had clearly a lot of like drug and mental
It's probably
issues.
one of the components that compounded it.
Right. But it's like clearly the conflict sounded very, very similar to me. And I don't think that like the system is what it is. And
Or it was what it was.
sure, I just mean the system of like commodification and capital is what it is. And I think that I respect people who are able to find a way to lessen their participation in it. And I don't think that because the world is fucked up that you should be a nihilist about it and live amorally. But I also think it is what it is. So if you want people to hear your music or see what you are making, you are going to have to engage within that system in some way. But I would rather listen to a whatever musician, writer, artist, filmmaker, athlete who at least expresses an awareness of the contradictions and a discomfort with it. And so I liked everything you were saying. And I guess if you, to me, like being like, oh, they're being pretentious sounds very similar to like shut up and dribble, you know?
Dude, I completely agree. I really don't buy into the argument of, you should be an actor, for instance. I think being an actor and a musician are maybe more adjacent than athlete. And just in terms of like profession and the way people, I mean, I guess people will demean all three of those, as far as the validity of your opinion. And, within the last few years, I've really pushed back on that just kind of myself, just because I think that, I don't think that you're automatically a hypocrite if you have reaped the benefit that like whatever market or system determines you should get paid, which is an obscene amount of money. I don't think that's why musicians or actors initially set out to do those things. It's usually because they're passionate. And if you have the potential to reach millions of people with your voice, use it. And it's not, and I'm not talking about when I always agree with those positions either. But I really do, I guess I disagree with what you're saying. And I think there is something endearing and kind of puts a little bit more validity to somebody like Tom York, who whatever kind of money he was pulling down at that period, acknowledges it and is dejected by it. And I think Tom York is a really good example of somebody that has, continued to be vocal and passionate about charitable causes, throughout their success, and a lot of people do that too. Radiohead are not unique in that way necessarily, but I couldn't agree more. And I don't know if it's in that part or in a different part, but they ask the person interviewing him, it asks if he was aware that Tom Cruise was at one of their shows.
That's a different part, but yeah, talk about
I
this.
love that
great
so
moment.
much. And, I mean, Tom Cruise is who he is, but this is 1997. I don't know if there's a bigger name on the planet.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how I would answer that question either, but he basically casually says, I don't give a shit and I didn't notice. Like he said, I said I didn't notice, and he did throw in some other comment to note that he doesn't
He
care.
does say what you're saying, but he also cops to...
And he critiques America, too. He says Americans are so obsessed with famous people.
Yeah.
Which I do think is, as somebody who hasn't traveled to the United Kingdom, but it is something culturally I have noticed a little bit, that maybe there's a little bit of a lesser obsession with fandom. I don't know what that is, though. So
Yeah. I mean, yes, absolutely. I mean, I think that... I don't know. This is speculation.
Yeah.
I think that American celebrity culture... is more ubiquitous now than it was in the 90s because of the internet. I always feel dumb when I say anything is because of the internet. But
okay. I feel you there.
But you know what I mean?
I do,
It's
yeah.
like, I mean, like now
Listeners will know
American
what you mean,
teenagers
too.
listen to Korean pop bands.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm sure Korean teenagers listen to Lizzo or whatever,
sure.
you know, like,
South Korean, yeah.
right, sure. Where it's not contraband. Yeah. And also, if we have any listeners out there in either Korea right now, hello.
Hello to our North Korean friends.
Or or I know from Arrested Development, Anyang. But he not only does he say what you're saying, where he does like kind of like bristle at the question and be like, because it's like you could tell he's like, what do you want me to say about this? Like, okay, Tom Cruise was there. Cool. Like I don't know how you want me to feel about that publicly.
I don't know how I feel about that publicly.
Yeah.
Tom
I feel
Cruise-
great about it.
Tom Cruise listening to Radiohead. I'm trying to imagine.
I mean, I can see
Vanilla
it.
Sky,
And also
though,
Vanilla
actually.
Sky
Yeah,
opens
yeah.
with
Yeah, which we listen to, Radiohead.
I could totally see Tom Cruise
A very
pitching that to
very
Cameron
good
Crowe.
use of everything in its right place. Actually, Cameron Crowe was obsessed with Radiohead, though.
Fair enough.
But anyways, please continue.
Everything in its right place opening that movie is one of the best needle. Say whatever you want about that movie. I think it's kind of dated. Whatever you. Oh, you.
No, you finish your thought. Go ahead.
That's one of the best needle drops
Absolutely.
of all time.
Absolutely.
It's such a great way to open a movie.
That song is made for the right kind of film, I would say.
Yeah. All I was going to say is he says everything you're saying he said, but he also does acknowledge that it has novelty to him also.
Yeah.
Like they say, well, what do you think about that, about Tom Cruise being at your show? And he goes, well, I don't know what to think about it. And they're like, well, is it exciting? He goes, oh, I would probably say something about it to a friend back home. Like he says like that.
I had
like
to rewind it so many times to
He
try
says
and
something like that. Like,
understand
I'll probably tell somebody,
Yeah.
you know, like, it's a little weird. Tom Cruise was there. And
a really good impression.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if that's true. But, and then the guy goes, oh, well, like, you know, how did you find him or what did you think of him? And he goes, I don't know. I didn't talk to him. Like, it's like kind of.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a common problem now still too, is that like the assumed interconnectedness of the famous people web.
Yeah.
I really, really love it when like sort of B-listers, are asked about like, what was it like, acting alongside so-and-so? And it's like, I don't know. I didn't really like interact with him or her on screen. And I think the earnestness of that is really refreshing. And I also, just quick deviation, but there's a book about this period as well, and also about Kid A called This Isn't Happening. Radiohead's Kid A in the Beginning of the 21st Century by author Stephen Hayden, and he talks about Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston attending the initial shows from Kid A before the album had a release date, and just that it was a similar reaction. Radiohead, certainly weren't ungrateful to have like such A-listers in attendance, but it was setting a tone for them not really like hobnobbing with the those were very big names today and then, So I don't know. I mean, that may have been an unnecessary sub-point or attack on, but I just think it is interesting, and also if it is pretentious, it's an aspect of their pretension I admire.
Well, me too, because I think that once you start publicly, like, look, I'm sure Radiohead know. I mean,
They know all the people.
they know very famous people, I'm
Yeah.
sure, like and all of that, and like very like you know people we would think of as like elites, you know, and all that stuff. But I'm glad that they don't hobnob in this public way, because once you start doing that, it ties your public image to those things.
Yeah.
And then you've got where it's like, I feel like Tom York in 2022 is still free to get in front of a microphone and go on whatever political rant he wants to. You know what I mean? Like use his voice in a more unfiltered way and not, you know, and it's like we've got Bono, like who I also think is like admirable in like his causes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not a criticism of his politics, but it's like he has become so big and so that it's like, you know, the way we are hearing what he thinks is he's sending a poem to Nancy Pelosi that she's like reading on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, I didn't know this happened.
It's one of the most embarrassing things that has happened in America.
Yeah, definitely.
There's like slavery.
It's up there.
This, yeah. But all to just say, like, yeah, I'm glad that they don't tie themselves to other people, because not only are those other people flawed, and then you're going to like be associated with that. Now they're allowed to be flawed.
Yeah.
And
which they are, and that's an aspect of Tom York and his politics that I really admire. We keep saying in his politics that this is an aspect too that I really enjoy, and I do think that it's applicable to this period. You know, we talked about the song "Electioneering." That's maybe one of the more like songs that we can tie to themes on this earth on OK Computer, as opposed to something like Subterranean Homesick Alien. You know, so there's definitely political cynicism creeping in on that album for sure, but not in the same way as Kid A and Hail to the Thief. And there is an interview with Tom York from Rolling Stone on the Hail to the Thief 2003 album. Obviously, that was post 9/11. The album cover has a lot of themes that we see in Western society, certainly, you know, just words, buzzwords, AIDS, meat, $. Just, I can't go through the whole list, but it's beautiful artwork to the Hail to the Thief. And so they're asking him all these questions, you know, if the interviewer has the gall to ask him if there was some sort of prophetic vision associated to Kid A to 9/11 a full year in advance. It's not that straightforward, but you know what. And I love the he's very much backing off instead of embracing. And, you know, that seems like the obvious choice to do. Of course, you know, to say no, of course not. But I think that there was sort of an idealization of Radiohead in this period of those three albums, because they are like, it was a different world, and I was a conscious person in this world, so I can speak to it a little bit. I would say musicians and actors being front and center, vehemently anti-war and vehemently cynical without a solution. They weren't, you know, playing candidate shows for Al Gore or for John Kerry or whatever. They were just, this is wrong, and they're cynical about it. It was not wholly unique, but it was different. And I still really admire that about Radiohead, or at least Tom York to this day, is there's not a whole lot of embracing of one side necessarily, but there is upfront addressing of a lot of the fucked up nature of things. You know, in this book that I mentioned by Stephen Hayden, you know, he does talk about that Radiohead was playing a gig. This would have been on the Kid A tour on 9/11. It was in the United Kingdom, so it wasn't, you know, here in the States. And it was not handled well by Tom York. It was not anything along the lines, folks, of, you know, this was deserved or anything like that. They're not stupid or without compassion, but it was interrupted the gig. Should we play? Didn't address it with like the same, with like maybe the level of urgency that we would have here. And that just has to do with like news cycle and awareness, just because it was a different world. But pretty quickly, though, I think because of Western nations' involvement, specifically the French, Tom York was like instantly critical of that before the shock and awe and all that. So there was some risk too in taking a position like that so early on, and it's certainly something I think history will treat favorably, because that war was bullshit.
Right.
You know, but that was just not a stance. And I mean, the Dixie Chicks like are a really good example, I think, for the inverse of that.
Totally.
Even though they were, you know, critiquing the president in Texas where he was governor. So that also is another layer of it. Totally undeserved.
Totally. And I mean, I think that back then it was like being critical of like U.S. foreign policy in a post 9/11 world was like a completely untenable public position to take.
Dude, look at the movies that came out. Everything is just
exactly.
crazy.
But I think even now, though, if it's still a trick they pull all the time that if you tie America's foreign policy to 9/11 in any way, people will immediately do the Jedi mind trick of saying that you're saying like the people who died in 9/11 deserved it or something like that. It's still still try to get you at that.
It took us 6 episodes to get to our 9/11 podcast. Right?
Thank you for that sobering reminder that this is not a 9/11 podcast.
And another thing.
Yeah, no shit.
No,
so
but
welcome back to Inside Job with Walker and Zach.
I gotta check my cue box here.
I was gonna say, do you have notes on the movie?
Just another thing. I check me on this one because my Kid A track titling is a little fuzzy on just maybe 2 or 3 of them, but I think How to Disappear Completely is the slow acoustic.
Yeah, let's talk about what later songs we hear early versions of. Yes.
So I had Nude, originally titled Big Ideas, Don't Get Any. I did hear some, and to me it was pretty recognizable as How to Disappear Completely. And it seemed like it was like during sound check, like before.
Yeah, they're sound checking that
at Madison Square Garden.
It sounds like the song is complete. It just they add a bunch of orchestral flourishes to it later, but the melody and tempo and everything is the same. Not true of every song we hear an early version of.
There is live footage of them playing around this period. It might have been from 99 or 2000 of one of my favorite Radiohead B-sides of all time called Up on the Ladder. It sounds completely different.
I did not even catch that.
No, that it's on YouTube, but it's from this 98,
Okay.
99
it's not
period.
in the movie, but they were already playing it.
Yeah, and then I think anything else that is shown, unless you have others, is maybe on the like sort of B-sides of OK Computer. But did you catch anything else?
No, there's a couple other actually. So we hear them sound check an early version of Life in a Glass House, the closing track on Amnesia.
Yes.
And
what did you think of the comparison?
It's awesome. I mean, the album version is more ambitious and the album version is
it's a very divisive
played
song.
on the piano. Is that true? Oh, I love that song.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah.
Do you like that song?
I love that song.
Yeah.
I love the experimentation of that in general.
Yeah, the album version is basically like kind of a New Orleans jazz funeral dirge where it's a piano and a clarinet and saxophone, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe trumpet.
Probably. I don't hear a sax in there, but I definitely hear trumpet. And
yeah, it's a clarinet and
let's just say
trumpet.
wind and
yeah, whatever. It's horns and it's very jazzy.
Yes.
And this soundcheck version doesn't have that. Again, tempo and melody are the same, but Tom is playing it on an acoustic guitar instead of a piano. And another song that I just didn't know they were kicking around that long.
I loved that too because that song is maybe one of the more difficult to discern the melody of, like on an instrument like a guitar. So it's really, really cool to see the writing process for any band that gets ambitious in that respect. And I really enjoyed that a lot.
Me too, and I liked the version of it that they were playing. Not better than the album version, but it was cool to hear it stripped down and on a guitar. They also play Tom sound. Actually, the whole band joins in. They sound check "Follow Me Around," which is a Kid A B-side. And it's played very, very slow. It's different than the recorded version. And then Nude, as we talked about, which I really loved the live version of because it gets very rockin'.
Yeah.
Which I was
It made me
by. It's a very, very gorgeous but very mellow song in Rainbows.
Yeah. I certainly think the version that they ended up going with is probably the right one. It's so hard when you hear these alternates. Same with Up on the Ladder. The version they ultimately went with on the B-sides of In Rainbows was the right one. It's like heavy rock. So sharp-eared listeners will will notice that one. But I really was kind of, it's so weird when you hear like what could have been by the original author. It's not an interpretation of it, you know, and just their writing. We've talked about the mystery of their writing process. And I think this was just like the slightest peek behind the curtain. You don't see them collaborating or giving each other input, but you see that it was a different version of a song at some point.
Yeah.
And maybe you can kind of see what Nigel Godrich's influence in that case, you know, too, of like, hey, let's take this down a little bit.
Totally.
I had a very Zach Glenn moment. I think we all have these where we're like, that's a really good...
A ZGM?
Yeah, ZGM. You know, where you have a thought and you go, all right, I'm going to bank that for my own gratification, or I'm going to tell someone who gives a shit. And then, you know, just casually you might see if anyone else has had that thought, and a lot of other people have on the internet.
Yeah.
And I had that when I was reading This Isn't Happening, that book I was mentioning. He does do a brilliant comparison of Stanley Kubrick films, specifically The Shining and 2001. And I do want to tell listeners I had not read this book when we were talking about OK Computer. So yeah, for anyone that wants to dive that deep on either of those artists, I highly recommend that book, because I'm not going to try and retell the comparison he makes.
I love it. Good note. I think we should probably get to some music before too long, but I was wondering if maybe we've covered a fair amount of my notes that I had about the documentary just in conversation, but there were a few moments I wanted to kind of run through, and and we'll talk about as much as we want to. So these are just kind of like character moments, but we were talking about something Zach says that I think is really funny that I've picked up lately is constantly referring to people being naughty. And Tom has a couple of very naughty moments, I would say, in this documentary. There's some really good live footage in this documentary. First of all, they come out on all their shows on this tour. They walk out to Fit or Happier, which is so
chills.
fucking cool.
Chills.
I really, it made me really want to get a time machine and go back and see one of those shows, because I'm like, that is so cool.
Yeah. I've never wanted a time machine before, but when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I think I would get a time machine for that.
Yeah, first go back and kill Hitler, then straight to 1998 to go catch one of these.
Nothing will be
Radiohead
different.
shows.
So the world won't have changed at all.
Right, exactly. Yeah, Radiohead, their music has now no themes of like political or social alienation, because we just live in a utopia.
Yeah, I'm saving for our time travel podcast, though.
How Hitler was the only bad thing that ever happened in history. It's certainly the only thing we talk about. Anyway. But then Tom being naughty, I was going to say really early in the documentary, my second note, in fact, is they're doing Creep, but they're doing it like crowd karaoke style, where Tom is just holding out the mic. And I thought it was really cute. I was like, oh, he's being cute. Like, he's smiling, he's holding out the mic. Everyone's super excited to hear it. But then no sooner than I had written down Tom letting the crowd sing Creep while he just smiles is cute, he starts singing, and I'm like, oh, very naughty, because he is being very sarcastic in his performance. Did you feel that way too?
Yeah, I didn't know if I read it that way initially, but I could totally see what you mean now. I'm rethinking it.
He's singing it in
snidely,
very snidely, and in a way that I'm like, oh, he does not want to be doing this song.
Yeah, like a lapsed Catholic or Christian will sing a praise song that they know is not for them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's like very snotty the way it sings. I wish I was special.
Yeah.
Like, it's very like, fuck this.
Right, but it's like, hey, you wrote it. You dork.
But like, I was thinking about, because I think it was in 2017 or something like that. A video came out. It was certainly pre-pandemic, of Radiohead playing Creep as an encore, and it was the first time they performed the song live in almost a decade. And it's so joyful. Like they clearly were like, fuck it, let's like give these people a treat and play like our first hit.
Yeah,
that sounds nothing like what we do now, and they perform the hell out of it, and it's really fun. And this was not that.
Well,
this was in stark contrast to that.
Oh yeah,
performance.
There's a naughty moment online, not in this documentary, where a rare moment.
Can this be a recurring feature? Is naughty moments?
Yeah,
online?
and just so people know, if you want to adopt this, the emoji symbolizing naughty is the smiling purple devil.
Oh, okay. For me, I use that emoji to indicate horniness.
Well, what is
What is
horny,
naughtier
but
than
yeah.
being horny? Yeah, good point.
So
The ultimate naughtiness.
the ultimate
is
naughty,
horniness.
yeah. The video is titled some YouTube bullshit like Johnny Greenwood gets mad because they don't signal him that they're going to play Creep.
Johnny Greenwood destroys Heckler.
So Ed, we were being cheeky listeners. Ed can play a couple chords. So he
That's
does
what you'll give
he
him?
does kick in with the doom da doo doom da da, the guitar pattern of Creep. Johnny Greenwood is legit surprised, and we think we love when rock stars are loose on stage and when it looks like they hadn't planned.
Oh, you mean hold on? So Ed starts them off playing Creep,
Yes.
and Johnny and none of them knew he was going to do that.
I think Tom and Ed had a game planned or something, but he's mad
Okay.
because he's in a detuned guitar. He has to change. He can't join in.
Oh.
And they this is like a newer thing for them on video footage I've seen where like there's another video of Tom and Johnny. Tom screws up. Is it Faust Arp off of In Rainbows?
I mean, that's how it's spelled. I don't if it's pronounced differently. I don't
Okay,
know.
I thought you were gonna school me on the pronunciation. So yeah, it's a picking pattern acoustic song.
Yeah.
and he screws it up, and so like there's a little bit of element of looseness and humor that wasn't there. But yeah, check YouTube for Johnny Greenwood being frustrated at his fellow mates.
with Ed.
Oh,
Who's already got to be just on thin ice, just from
Yeah.
like you're not pulling your weight. What do you do, mate?
I mean, I've tried to figure that out with the dynamics on stage. I mean, you definitely see Colin and Johnny lock eyes a few times. When you're feeling it, or you see other people feel it, and they're like, they know how good they are, and that never happens with Ed. So,
well, that actually perfectly gets me into
thank you for letting me do
my
that.
other general note, which is, I'm almost afraid to talk about this because I don't want to let any air out of the running bit of making fun of Ed. This documentary gave me a new level of Ed appreciation.
Oh, big time!
Where I'm like,
very
he's-
nice guy.
Well, yes.
Oh, no, I was being serious. It seems
But that's like what you say about someone who like sucks at what they do, but is nice.
she doesn't love him, but he's such a nice guy.
Yeah, it's like in like comedy when you're talking about somebody and
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
says, "Are they funny?" And like the worst thing you could say is like, "They're really like nice. They're a really nice dude." But no, I actually mean though in terms of he is. I feel like maybe we've had this realization before. Like he is busier than I
Oh yeah.
give him credit for. Not one strum of his guitar in that rendition of "I Might Be Wrong" aside. On this OK Computer tour, he's got quite a bit to do.
Some vocal harmonies, and it's certainly rhythmically.
The vocal harmonies and you were, I think you pointed this out on the Bends. A lot of he seems to be. He adds a lot of like finger picking stuff.
Yes.
So like he's in the opening notes of Airbag. He's doing the
No.
Yeah, he is.
Really?
Live he is.
Oh,
I don't know if
wow.
he wrote
Good
it,
for
but
Ed.
live
That's a
he's
challenging riff.
Yeah, live he's doing that, and then he like often is like the kind of sauce he's doing on the live version of.
2 + 2 = 5.
No, sorry, in this documentary.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They
Okay.
play Karma Police on Letterman.
Oh yeah. Oh, I couldn't wait for you to fucking watch that.
He's doing a lot of cool guitar work in the final section of that song.
Yes.
For a minute there, I lost myself. And he's also running the analog tape delay.
Because Johnny Greenwood's banging away on the piano, right?
Exactly. So, like, Ed is often responsible, but he is doing. We've talked about how he does a lot of soundscape stuff before, and he's twiddling a lot of knobs, but he does more melodic stuff than I gave him credit for. And the Letterman stuff is another moment of naughtiness from Tom, that I'm not saying is unjustified, but you see him chewing some unseen person out. Backstage and from the stage.
Yeah. What
Like-
is he? Is it something to do with their sound check or something?
Their sound check is all rushed, and you don't see what was, but it seems like some bit that they did on the show got a really long rehearsal.
Yes.
Because he's going, oh, he's like, you rehearse spinning a fucking wheel for 2 hours and then I don't get 5 minutes to plug my fucking guitar in.
Yeah.
Like he's getting pissed. And then backstage he's going off about it. And like, again, it's like maybe he's being short with the wrong, he might be yelling at like some fucking stagehand there,
right?
You know, I don't know. Like, it definitely is different for me if he's yelling at like a producer with power or some like poor person who's in a
no, he was
position.
at a Harvey Weinstein, actually. He's just out of frame.
Oh,
so.
good. Yeah. He's saying it's not on what you're doing, mate.
No, don't yell at stage managers, folks. That's
I don't know who he's yelling at. It could be
I got
somebody
that
who
feeling.
deserves to be yelled at or somebody who doesn't. With the amount of bullshit you see them doing,
yes,
I can definitely empathize with the fact that it's like, the one thing that we want to be doing is playing our fucking music well. So like we need to like rehearse. Like I just spent the day answering the question, "Where do you get your ideas from?" 500 times in a row.
Right, and playing
We're
on
gonna take
Letterman,
our time getting this set up correct. You know,
in 1997, playing
it's an amazing performance
on Letterman. It is an amazing performance, and playing on Letterman was a huge deal. Being a guest on Letterman, you hear every famous stand-up comic or actor talk about what did you want to be on, you know? So like maybe it's a little different for a British rock band, but you know, they wanted to nail that performance, and as I think they did all of them, so I get it.
Yeah, they did. Just a couple other things. You touched on this, but the other thing that we talked about is Ed and Colin do kind of most of the press. And it is funny because I'm like, we call Ed the handsome man. He's probably the most like classically good-looking person in Radiohead. We're skeptical of you know what he's bringing to the table, and then this also it confirmed my suspicion that they probably all like Ed the best. Like the way the other three Beatles, Ringo is clearly everyone in the Beatles' favorite Beatle.
Yes.
Like he's like the best hang.
He's like
in the Beatles.
in Curb, how you need a third person, you know, or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, we need Ringo.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, right.
To break the tension.
You mean like the middle person at the
Yeah,
dinner
or just
party?
in life. We can admit it. You need that sometimes.
Yeah. And Ed, the way he talks to the press, I'm like, oh, he clearly is like the most gifted
Patient
with people.
Yeah, his candor's really good.
Yeah, and he seems to, and you see him to get a little frustrated with the grind of what they're doing, but he doesn't ever take it out on the person. Whereas, like I said, there's footage of Tom going like fuck, like literally saying fuck this, like I can't.
But it's so interesting. I know we're trying to wrap this part up, but like with that scene in particular, because I did forget about it. It's interesting, like on a team, like on a hockey team, you know, there still is, even to this day, there's the enforcer, and you know, in a band, you know, or in something like that where you have a group, you know, if they have these roles and they're not pre-planned, it's so interesting, just human dynamics, right? Like, I can't imagine any other member of Radiohead expressing that frustration. And while it's not okay if whoever he was yelling at, it's not okay. You need somebody to be able to do that. They can't all be passive and sweet. And you need somebody to be amicable to the press. You need somebody to speak on Johnny's behalf. Who better than his brother? So yeah, you do see their little roles kind of all being fulfilled in these little bits. And I think it's great that they left that included. I'm sure they could have scrubbed that of him yelling at backstage.
Yeah, totally.
So
I mean, it's a very like not.
no,
It's not a puff piece. It's just it's like kind of seems to show the most downbeat moments. Of
just like in my Shining documentary, when you can see him go, "Come on, Shelley, we're here freezing ourselves." He's just yelling at Shelley Duvall.
Is that Nicholson?
No,
or
it's Kubrick.
Oh.
You didn't hear me say roll video? Come on, Shelley.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, he famously treated her really great.
Yes.
There is one other scene that I have to talk about, and we can talk about more stuff too if you want.
Sure, sure.
Oh, the only thing left that I have to address. Do you remember the scene in this documentary of those fucking idiot talking heads on like some British morning TV show? Just like bashing Radiohead?
No, nuh-uh. I don't know how I've forgotten. It's been months since I've watched it though.
It's they're playing the No Surprises video, which it also shows what looked like a very stressful shooting
the helmet
situation. Yeah,
that was amazing.
So for folks who don't know, watch the No Surprises video, but it's a static shot on Tom York's face as he's in like a kind of weird old school like diving bell helmet, and it slowly fills with water as he's singing the song. And it wasn't a trick of the camera. It was really being filled with water. He had some sort of like safety where if he panicked, he could pull it and flush. And they just show take after take of him freaking out,
kind of waterboarding yourself because
drowned.
it has to drain. It's not instant relief.
Yeah. So it's just anyway. So it's this, interesting video. Very Radiohead kind of concept, and they're playing it on some, it looks like the British equivalent of like some Today Show bullshit or whatever, like Morning Joe or whatever. But it just really got me mad because it is the thing that I'm always defensive of like, because Radiohead is like critically lauded, like people I think feel very like condescended to by that, and they just want to levy this like bullshit criticism at them that like, so the woman goes, it's music to slit your wrists to.
Oh, I recall this now.
Right. And then the other guy goes, it reminded me of David Brent because he goes, critics love Radiohead, but they're a bit, And then the other one goes, well, I actually like this video because he's being drowned. Like, and they all just like go nuts about how much they hate Radiohead. I'm kind of like, if you don't like Radiohead, like fine. Like not everybody has to like this band, but to me, the criticism that their music is sad, it's just like, well, what do you? I mean,
just to alienate our own audience, like for those that may like only upbeat music, it's really telling. And this will sound pretentious in my own, but like most people are smart, but they're smart in different ways. And when you watch videos online or whatever, read music reviews. Might not be the best example. If you just survey people, most people don't want a lot of emotion evoked from their music. They want something easy listening, and that goes both ways because Radiohead are obviously a huge band, and like My Chemical Romance are a huge band or whatever. So clearly it goes both directions, but people will critique them not on the skill of their musical ability, but just on that it's flavored with sadness, which is like you said, is an odd critique.
Yeah, no, I remember they're going, it's so dreary. And like, it's certainly not music you'd want played at a first birthday party.
No
and
shit.
It's like, what do you mean, for babies? Yeah. Like, so you're a baby, is what you're saying. Like, you only want
because I go to a lot of those.
Yeah. We're gonna play a few B-sides off of the OK Computer era. And I'll just play these in the background, and we can talk about them as much as we want or not. This is the first one on the deluxe version of OK Computer that came out in 2017, where they released all these B-sides, and this is, in my opinion, a very lovely song called I Promise.
We won't have any issues talking over it. And
Nope.
Okay,
we're good.
cool. Yeah, OK, Not OK, I believe the re-release is called.
Correct, yes.
I'm sensing drop D a minimum, or maybe double drop D.
I mean, definite drop D bass note there, yeah. This is one of those ones where I don't know who's playing the drum track, and then later in this song there's like a synth track, but I would not be surprised if what we're hearing is all maybe Tom in the studio. Fucking around himself, because I really
the
like
guitar
this.
is definitely, that's Tom's rhythm for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know where this song would have fit in on OK
Colin
Computer
Kanan
is
or-
kind of the thought I've always had about it.
Yeah.
It's a good song, and it is better than anything. It's not it's more mature than anything on the Bends. I'm not saying it's better and I like it more, but I just don't think mood wise it would have fit.
Nope. That's interesting because I mean we'll come up with it, or we'll discuss this as we go on with the Bends. I famously made a case for some of these B-sides on that album being, in my opinion, a little stronger than some of the ones they included. I think this album has a lot less B-sides, and we're going to kind of skip through because a lot of what's on this deluxe edition is actually kind of more interstitial music. Seems like kind of like sketches of things. it has great B-sides, not nearly as many, but also I think that they made 100% the right decisions to leave off what they left off and include what they did. There's nothing that I would trade from the B-sides.
Oh, okay.
For,
Then I'm gonna have my own call.
I'm gonna skip to the next song. If there is one that I think you could mount the strongest case for including on the album, it would be this next song. GarageBand detected feedback. Sorry, we had a little interruption there. I like this synth part. But again, this is a group effort in the studio, but I would not surprise me. The drum part is so basic that it would not surprise me if this is a
Ed contribution.
I just think this could maybe just be a Tom demo, but I'm not sure. I love it though. It's really gorgeous. What do you think about this song?
I like it. I mean, it's just more hopeful than anything else we have. I wouldn't take Lucky off. It's interesting because I was saying like it's a little bright. And I don't know where it would have fit. That's not to say that OK Computer is only dark. We have your favorite, the song with the music video we were just speaking.
Oh my God.
No Surprises.
No Surprises.
No Surprises is definitely a brighter song, but I think that's a stronger song than this.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is really nice.
Mm-hmm. It's great B-side, like certainly worth releasing. The Radiohead on their re-release of Kid A and Amnesiac, there were some really bright spots. The version of like Spinning Plates.
Oh, set to the polk pole.
Like Spinning Plates, the YS version. That made me love a song that was sort of forgettable on Amnesiac.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was thinking of they set True Love Waits
yes.
to the that techno track from Amnesiac, which I thought also was really cool.
But ultimately, it wasn't really it wasn't any unreleased songs that I think this just doesn't disappoint. There's a lot to listen to on this one at least.
Totally. Now I'm going to guess that if there is one that you would include and maybe even drop something off of OK Computer to include, that it might be this next one. Maybe I'm wrong, but this next song I think is a fucking really, 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 really good song, as good as anything on the album. This is Man of War, which we also hear them playing in Meeting People Is Easy.
You're right. That's right.
This is a very haunting song. I'll just let it play it for a second.
I'm feeling like I need to learn how to play this one.
Ooh, tasty from Colin there.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this could have been in the same sessions as talk show host. Like it has a very filmically. It would work really good in an outro of a film.
Tom's voice.
Wow, Colin, I love listening to this with over-the-ear headphones. Bass is doing a lot.
Drunken confessions and hijacked affairs will just make you more alone.
Melodically, it sounds a little like some kind of Abbey Road stuff to me.
Oh, totally. I could totally get that.
Is this the song that you would like to put
Yeah,
on?
so I would drop The Tourist for sure, because the Tourist is just not. I like some of the parts of it, but I've always loved this song so much, and I would definitely scoot The Tourist aside. I could maybe part with even Subterranean Homesick Alien in favor of this song.
See, the reason I would push back on that is because to me, should I let this part breathe a little bit? The thing I would push back on that is that, to me, Subterranean, Homesick Alien, and The Tourist are two of the melodically not so dour notes on OK Computer, and this is in a very minor key and kind of very angsty sounding, and I love it, but I don't think you want to lose those couple of like more pretty moments.
I'd have a hard time
Computer.
getting rid of Subterranean Homesick Alien, regardless how much I fall in and out of favor with that song, just because in terms of storytelling, whether there's a discernible story or not, it is so good after Paranoid Android and before Exit Music. I don't even want to say it, but I mean, I could lose Exit Music in favor of this song too. I know that's a favorite, and I don't dislike that song. I know there's great parts. I just love this song.
I mean, to me, losing that song is crazy, but I would rather lose it than either of those other two, just because this song, if we're trading it with this song occupies more of a similar space sonically than those other two. So, hey, fortunately, they made the album they wanted to make, and we can't change it based on our crazy whims.
Are you familiar with the song "The Daily Mail"? That is also.
Not only am I familiar with it, I became familiar with it from the one time I saw them live. They played.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like, what was that wonderful song that they played?
That break. Yes, no, it's it's an amazing song, and I do like that
And
Radiohead.
is that from the In Rainbows era?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Great song.
Jason Bateman used it for closing of an episode in Ozarks. It was
cool.
wonderful. Ozark. It was wonderfully woven in. I think shades of this song remind me of that a little bit.
Sure. I love it.
I love it.
this song. It's definitely the highlight of the B-sides for me. There's one other song that I kind of remember, but we'll just skip through and see what kind of is next. Lift. So this is the other kind of like full song that I remember. I don't really have any thoughts about it off the top of my head. What do you think?
Why
about
didn't they
this
spell
song?
it correctly with a Y?
Very funny. You know, do you know that a lift is what they call an elevator in England? So this song, if it was written by a Yankee, would be called Elevator.
Yeah, and I get very like fake plastic trees kind of vibes.
Yeah, this sounds like a little bit of a Ben's holdover.
I
This
really
is nice.
I like it.
this.
I really like the chorus as well.
Okay, we'll get to that sweet, sweet chorus. That sweet CH.
Yeah, it's a bit of a lull, but I promise the chorus is good.
Another B-side though that is really enjoyable, but right choice to leave it off the album.
I mean, I think Man of War is the only, and I love that too, because it's like a comic who will trim their act, and you see it before it's untrimmed, and you go, oh my gosh, that's funnier than anything I could have come up with. But
Now I hear some percussion there, and I'm my number one suspect of who's shaking that tambourine. You know, I'm thinking that's the Handsome Man. I thought maybe I could.
I don't know, that power chord.
That's Johnny.
Well, yeah, but he was doing some. This, I can't figure out what band this sounds like.
It sounds like REM to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be really out of place on the album,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
it's really nice.
It's
really
so
like it.
Benzy,
I kind
though.
of always forget this one. This is another one of those B-sides that sounds like more radio friendly to me than a lot of stuff that they included.
Yeah, and I think if you
Which
cut
is
the
maybe
vocals,
why it wouldn't be as at home on OK Computer.
but
it's nice. This is like kind of a poppier song.
I think
for
if you
them.
cut the vocals and only listen to the instrumentation, it could easily be a Smashing Pumpkins song.
Very good call.
Yeah, that's kind of why for me, and I love Golden Era, Smashing 3 of those albums, but just more in the front half of the 90s is sort of the way I think of the Pumpkins.
Totally. Yeah, this sounds like the kind of melody he would write when
Yeah.
he's writing a pretty song.
Yeah, and the synth that he used on Melancholy in particular. It's so funny how like a couple years can separate such a progression in music. And I know Billy Corgan is insufferable now, like our Roger Waters friend. But
kind of in the same way, honestly.
Yeah.
But really, really, I think did a lot. In
Those
that,
are guys who should shut up and dribble. Roger Waters and Billy Corgan. Shut up and play a door.
Shut up and retire.
Yeah, seriously. Stop trying to put out albums.
But just to give Billy Corgan some credit, and Jimmy Chamberlain and Darcy and James Iha did a lot for 1993 to 1995 to push popular music into new directions, whereas I think Pearl Jam and Nirvana tend to kind of suck up all the credit. But that's my Pumpkins pitch. We're talking about Radiohead.
I like that Pumpkins take. Yeah, I mean, they were huge, but they don't get canonized in the same way, I feel like, when we talk about hugely influential bands.
No, and
of
I
the
think they
1990s.
suffered from what you were just kind of complaining, railing against of those British talk show hosts that were idiots. Smashing Pumpkins, similar to Roger Waters, actually, in a way. Sometimes Billy Corgan's lyrics can be a little on the nose, and I'm talking golden era Pumpkins.
Sure.
But very, very poetic, and maybe it was the darkness that I think maybe people don't put them with Pearl Jam. So this is going to be Lol remastered.
I don't really remember this one. Already sounding very Benzy, though. Oh, except you got that Glockenspiel that they used on. They rolled that thing in for no surprise, and they're like, let's let Johnny have his fun, yeah?
Feeling some Planet Telex vibes, maybe? With that guitar?
Oh, this is a short song.
Good. Ooh, I like the vocal work. Maybe I'd trade out Planet Telex for this song. I don't know. It's pretty good.
I like it too, man, but it's just like, when we listen to these B-sides, it really makes me impressed with their level of cohesion that they achieve on these albums, because it's like these songs are great. Like, it's the songs they're throwing away are really, really great songs, but this would disrupt the feel that is achieved on OK Computer.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what happened. No, I'm not going to skip ahead, but on one of their Divisive albums, that is the most amount of tracks Radiohead has ever put on an album. They didn't necessarily have that discernment on Hail to the Thief. That's what I'm implying.
Not necessarily, but they may have.
They may have, yeah.
I'm
just looking at it on iTunes, and I noticed it has a lot of tracks. I haven't listened to it.
I like this. Sounds a little unfinished.
Yeah, go ahead.
May I skip ahead?
Yeah, absolutely.
Meeting in the Aisle. Okay, there's a lot more songs on this than I thought. It's because this is also a full-length song. This is
really
this one
awesome.
is interstitial music.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
And they use this as score in Meeting People is Easy.
Yes. And I would say you
can definitely
Massive Attack, it's really cool. Like, other bands were doing this kind of stuff. This could maybe fit into like an alternate version of The Matrix while Morpheus is touring him, very, very 90s kind of just.
Yeah. It's very 90s, but also very original. And also I feel like right now we're hearing what will be the space they're working in a lot of Kid A here.
And yeah.
Right? Like, this is
Amnesiac would be a little bit more unpredictable, but yes. I can't wait to talk about those albums.
But this is very it's like kind of weird jazzy chords.
Yeah.
But like an electronic beat. It just reminded me
No,
of
this
those
is
two
more
albums.
Kid A. You're right, yeah.
Or Amnesia. I mean, the same sessions, right? So didn't they record those at the same time?
Two chicks.
I should know that. I have a fucking Radiohead podcast.
Oh, I thought you were
not even
saying I have a fucking Radiohead tattoo because you were gesturing at your chest.
Oh, I was playing with my chest hair, listeners. This is cool. It also reminds me a little bit of the interstitial music on Elliott Smith's Figure 8.
Yes.
Color Bars.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like that was buried in the back of my mind, and just blew my mind.
Okay. Well, I'm going to skip ahead because I think we get the idea. It's cool. Melatonin. This is Melatonin.
Famously helpful for sleeping.
Is melatonin like DMT, where it's a chemical we already produce, but then you...
Yeah, but you could buy it
supplement
over the
it.
counter, whereas I think DMT might be a little bit harder to
Yes, I understand that. But I mean,
Yes,
DMT releases a chemical that we already produce in our brain, right?
Yeah, and I think
is melatonin the same thing?
I believe so. Yeah, I think it's a natural.
I guess every drug is releasing chemicals that are already in your brain. Right?
Yeah, I guess it would be artificially kind of, yeah. I know how science works.
Not much of anything.
No, I think this could work on a moon-shaped pool, potentially. Ooh,
Yeah.
I like this Blade Runner synth, though.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a demo, but a cool
Uh-huh.
demo. But it's not really a full song, so I'm going to skip ahead and see what else. This is A Reminder by Radiohead.
It's kind of fun. I haven't
And
listened
I
to
would
this.
like to remind you, all listeners, to listen to Radiohead because they're a great. I think they're a great band. What do you think?
I'm getting King's Crossing vibes a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, it sounds like. Let's record some of the noise at the tube. Right? Isn't that what they call their subway?
Oh, yeah. you're right.
Mind the gap.
Because the TV is the telly. I was thinking the tube. Keep getting my...
No, the tube takes us to work, isn't it?
The bot.
We have a robust public transit system here. It's our tax dollars at work.
That's why we can meet in the aisle and get things done.
That's why we take the lift, isn't it?
You heard Polythene Pam off Abbey Road?
So
Mm-hmm.
more interstitial music. It's cool. It's not a song. Oh, and here we go. Polythene Parts 1 and 2. Was that on purpose that
Yeah.
you referenced?
What if it's just jang, jang,
That'd be amazing.
yeah. I do like this song.
This is nice.
I feel like we have 2 songs to learn as brothers and not
is
play on this
nice.
podcast, but
Well, sometimes the
This is
B-sides are
good.
easier to learn because they're not
as
fully
layered.
flesh them out.
Yeah.
So it's like you can kind of hear what Tom York's doing on the... Oh, and that was that.
that was nice.
That was really pretty.
Very talk show host with that. Folks, and in case you don't remember, Talk Show Host is the movie the song in the movie Romeo plus Juliet, starring Leonardo DiCaprio by director Blas Luhrmann and Claire Danes.
And and I mean,
This is somewhat similar. in
my
sonic.
take on talk show host was it sounds more OK Computer than
Yes.
Ben's, and these sound similarly like they sound a little too weird for the Benz and a little too simple for OK Computer.
The mixing though, the way the guitar just comes in and out, that's abandoned after the bends. I feel like.
The loud, quiet, loud
Mhm.
thing. This is cool. It's not as good as what's on OK Computer, but I like
No.
it.
Well, and I mean, you can make any song that has a verse chorus structure complex, but just what they're able to do on Subterranean Homesick Alien and The Tourists, which are the songs that I contemplated potentially cutting, they're so complex, and it's just crazy to think about the same band and potentially the same sessions. Not to demean the song in any way at all.
No, it's
but-
cool. But I feel you, yeah.
Yeah. Or I would love to hear what those songs sounded like originally, maybe even.
Yeah, I mean, they clearly... It's. I think it's also is interesting because it's like probably those songs that are achieving that level of depth like didn't start out that way. So it's also interesting to hear which ideas they wanted to follow through all the way
Yeah.
or not. You can't really... It's not really up to you which way the inspiration takes you.
Yeah.
And Radiohead are nothing if not human.
No, but I would love to hear like Airbag and Subterranean in particular have really interesting chromaticism in their intros, and I would love to hear whose idea that was, because you got to know that those probably weren't like songs aren't written that way when you have a group, of start to
Right.
finish. Famously, "Day in the Life" by the Beatles was 2 songs meshed together. So
It works, doesn't it? I'm going to skip ahead. So this is Pearly. and this song is about cum.
Oh, I was thinking it's about Mr. Crab's daughter, Pearl.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, so it's a Muse song.
Oh, I was gonna say this is very REM.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I could hear that too. Cool riff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this song's cool. I forgot about this one.
Oh, yeah. This is... Wow. I think Muse got a hold of the B-sides before the rest of us did.
Yeah.
I'm talking about good Origin of Symmetry Muse. This would fit right there.
But that is funny because there have
Wow.
been multiple Radiohead songs where I'm like, oh, their discarded songs sound like Muse's best song.
And the way this almost has like a Latin flavor on the guitar,
Yeah.
Muse love to do that. And by the way, guys, I know music doesn't exist in a vacuum. I know Muse are their own group, very talented, but not the first person to make that comparison.
Yeah, they're at best.
Oh my god, even the feedback he's doing though is
This
like
is cool,
Matt
yeah.
Bellamy.
I forgot about this song. This is fucking dope.
You know, I have not listened to this album, this re-release, since it came out. Maybe a couple times on iTunes in the background at work, but it's been fun re-listening to it with you.
It's also cool that it has a low harmony. They don't
Uh-huh.
do that a lot.
I
You
love
think that's Ed? That's what.
does it himself, like in Jigsaw and in 2 + 2 = 5, and they're there, but Ed can help.
And we'll duplicate it live.
Yes. Not as well, but yes. Ed is a talented singer, folks.
Wow.
Ooh, I like that.
This song is sick. Also doesn't fit on OK Computer, but this is a sick song. I like this a lot. Ooh. We're getting a real crescendo here melodically. Listeners, we might just rock out for the remaining
Oh, yeah.
1 minute and 20 seconds here.
This is so Black Holes and Revelations, like, wow.
Loving that Colin bass line.
Yeah. Colin can really play. It's haunting in a different kind of way. It's not so slow. It's kind of crescendo, in your face haunting. Maybe like Lucky, but a little bit more sped up. So that new riff kind of coming in.
I would suggest that's probably an Ed riff based on the kind of things he plays in the footage. He kind of seems to do these like clean melodic parts. Do we have a mutual favorite B-side of this album?
I think so. I liked its length as well. Like Man of War is great, and it does the Radiohead thing of keep you yearning for more. But I think that wow. Also featuring session guitarist Matthew Bellamy.
And this is Palo Alto, second to last track included here. I don't remember what this one is. I forgot about Pearly. What a rocker. Oh, this is also in the documentary.
I like it just because its title and what the words are.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
It's good.
This is like a cheeky, more obvious exploration of the themes that are on the album.
Got some Pixies influence a little bit.
Totally. It sounds like early Radiohead.
Yeah,
but
it does.
it's cool.
I love that they weren't afraid at this stage in their career. Wow, very Pixies. To, whether consciously or not paying homage in that way, but had the kind of forethought to maybe not make the album bloated. But yeah, not pretentious at all to play this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that opening line, in the city of the future, it's difficult to concentrate. I like that a lot. And it's called Palo Alto, so I guess like maybe some
Our neighbors across the valley.
Yeah, maybe some early tech boom criticism. I guess it would have been like the .com boom at this time.
Yeah. Steve Jobs was about to come back as CEO in a year.
Cool song. And let's check out this last one, which, if I remember correctly, is also more interstitial music. It's called How I Made My Millions, but maybe it's a full song because I forgot about some of these. Sounds like he's playing a saxophone.
We've been light on the dumb humor in this one. I'm glad you included that.
I like that as a character, a guy who's never heard a piano. What is it? Is this a...
It's a little bit of When in Rome from Anchorman.
Yeah.
Saxophone.
Oh, I like the flute he's playing. Oh, no, did I have that? Oh, yes. Okay. No, excellent ukulele.
Yeah, some sort of green vegetation.
Should we explain that inside joke? We don't have to.
This song's a little slow. When a dad doesn't know something, our dad, my mom, we were on a family trip, said, Joe, what are those, plants or, farmland or, what's growing out there? Some sort of green vegetation.
Yeah.
It's a definite, I don't know, dad moment.
Yeah, I love that. Because that is such a dad quality of like an ability to just go, you know what, I don't know. I think it's easy. I think it's easier now because when my kid asks me something I don't know, I can just go, you can look that up when you get home, and you don't have to do it in some 29-volume encyclopedia set. You could just say it into your fucking iPad.
Which is why everyone is smarter and happier now.
That's right, because we know everything. Yeah. And it's really it's helped us retain knowledge, I think,
too.
Absolutely. It's not
I look something up,
disposable.
I never forget it.
Yep.
Especially if it's on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Under the personal life section.
And it's there's a comedian, Pete Holmes, who has a bit about this, so it's not an original premise, but it also is funny because the ability to do that has given us zero tolerance for not knowing something. Like you can't if you I will have to
internally, or when we're discussing with other people.
I think internally.
Yeah.
I mean, when I watch a movie now, when I sit down to watch it, I leave my phone in the other room because otherwise I will go.
I have to
know. I have to know. I have to text Zach as he's seen this movie. Yes. I have to know, what is this song that I'm hearing right now?
Sure.
Who composed the music? What have I seen this person in? All stuff that if I really want to know, I can look up afterwards. And 9 times out of 10, I will. But I will miss the movie by being obsessed with the trivia of it as I watched it. And it took me until recently to realize, like, I used to be able to watch a movie without immediately knowing all the trivia about it while it's happening in front of me.
But your brain had that itch, and movies in particular are a tough one of, that's why IMDb serves no other purpose from what have I seen him, her in.
Yeah.
No, but I know what you're saying. I went down the rabbit hole of pointless shit when I was watching Gattaca, a movie I'd never seen before, but that was the Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's kind of coming together. And, I was like, why do I care that he was screwing the babysitter, which is what led to their divorce in 2005, when I should just be watching this movie?
Oh, so this is what led to them. They broke up?
No, they got together on this, but I went, 8 years into the future.
Aha.
And, it was just what you're saying. It was just pointless kind of minutia's butthole.
Sure.
Why am I going down this road?
Is he another Banged the Nanny guy?
Yeah, but I think that the nanny was like, in her 30s.
No, sure. But it's just funny because Nicole
Jude Law, who's in Gattaca.
Me and Nicole were just talking about Jude Law and just about how...
well, it was a different time, Walker.
Right. About how banging the nanny is something that's like not illegal, but is like...
It's so
you
gross.
Hope it's the worst thing they've done because it's like pretty suspect.
Yes. Yeah, no. I was not like I'm a diehard Ethan Hawke fan or anything, but... If you're going to cheat on Uma Thurman, you better have a darn good reason.
Sure. That I'll give you that, but I also mean that if the affair goes south in some way, the position of power of who is more likely to come out okay from that encounter, the nanny or Jude Law, is like highly tilted in Jude Law's favor. So I'm just kind of like, hey, like,
well,
if you're going to cheat, it's none of my business. I don't know anything about either of you, but I just look much less askance at, say, Brad Pitt having sex with Angelina Jolie while he's in a relationship than
the nanny.
Ethan Hawke banging the nanny.
Yeah, totally.
Just get it together.
Or Jude Law, and Sienna Miller banging the nanny. It should have been with somebody else. He was married to Sienna Miller when he cheated with the
I
the
thought
nanny.
was it a group
No.
sex situation?
No.
Or?
I'm just saying that, like, to your point, like if you're with Jennifer Aniston, it's okay to hop over to Angelina Jolie, as opposed to Jude Law being freshly married to Sienna Miller and then hopping over to the very young-looking nanny. It's just it's a bad look.
Right, but I mean, it's like people don't act out sexually because of how pretty the person they're acting out sexually is with. It has more to do with whatever their kinks or their boredom from dating beautiful people or the hole inside
or
them.
the addiction,
yeah, or the addictive behavior. And then Ben Affleck, that was the other nanny banger that we were talking about.
Ugh, what a skis ball, all these guys. I mean,
don't bang the nanny.
Don't bang
That's
the
what
nanny,
I'm saying.
Bang the kindergarten teacher.
Something. Spread it out. Yeah, Don. Right. And that's like in Mad Men when it's like they really wanted you to stop thinking what Don Draper was doing was cool, is when he's banging Sally's teacher, and you're just like, oh, buddy, like this is, you're getting messy, Don. You're slipping. Cheat on your wife, but be cool about it. And that is what we would like to leave you on, listeners. Cheat on your wife, but for God's sake, be cool about it. Don't
Especially
be cringe.
for Betty,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you seem very hung up on the idea of don't cheat on your wife if they're hot.
Oh, no. If her name's Betty, just because Betty's a bummer.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
So cheat on your wife if they are a bummer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right.
And that's what I'm glad we got there. We got to 9/11 and when it is okay to cheat on your spouse.
Let's do an alternate wrap up just in case that it doesn't sound good on second listen.
Oh, I'm sure it'll sound even better. I'm sure it'll grow in our esteem. No, I mean, I was going to say that is okay, computer. And I think we're kind of closing the book. I mean, obviously it'll come up. This is a friggin' Radiohead podcast. I'm sure we'll reference it again, but
and at the rate we're going, they could have several new albums by the time we're ready.
Yeah,
to
no
release.
shit. But I mean, I definitely think that we have a nice bed of what was going on in the band and around the band as we kind of get into Kid A. And do you have any final thoughts on this, on the 97, 98, 99 era of Radiohead that will
No final
end
thoughts.
OK Computer and get us into the Kid A period?
No, I mean, it's a great album. It's not my favorite. It is the best of the three that we've listened to by, miles. It's one of my favorite all-time albums, but when we're talking about the band as a whole, and I am so looking forward, Walker and listeners, to discussing Kid A with you and potentially a future guest. Just because it hasn't been historically my favorite, and I think there's a lot to love about it, and it's definitely an album to listen to, over and over how much period of time, years if you want. Or so I'm really, really looking forward to Kid A and everything after.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It continues to be very rewarding, Zach, to discuss one of my favorite things with one of my favorite people. Really enjoyed this conversation today, and I hope you did too, listeners. If for some reason this is your first time listening, please subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a nice review if you feel so inclined. I don't think I've said this at any other juncture, but maybe by the time we're putting this out, there's credits where we list the social media of the show on there. If not, you can follow me at Walker JF Glenn with 2 N's, where I'm certainly posting updates about our show. And we just really appreciate you listening. We know that when choosing Radiohead podcasts, there is a abundance of podcasts that you could be listening to, but we think that you have chosen correctly in choosing Idio Talk. And we look forward to next week when we're going to be discussing Kid A. Until then, take it easy. We love you. Goodbye. Idiotalk is a Glenn Brothers production. Get in touch with us at idiotalk.podcast@gmail.com or follow us on Instagram at idiotalk.podcast. And thanks for listening to